Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Ram,
Ram.
Hare Hare.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is 19th of October, which is Saturday. It's Kartika Masa, Damodara Masa, and the Krishna Paksha. It is Tadiyatidi, so there are no events, but a daily auspicious event after that month. And so this is Damodara. So apart from that, there are no other Vaishnava events. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरे कृष्ण। In the Srimad Bhagavatam, say Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring from Sukadeva Goswami to speak on the um, universe and all the different planetary systems. So, which is Bhupatala, Kakubha, Vyoma, Graha, Nakshatra, Bhubrutam, Sari Samudra Dvipanam, Sambhavashayetat Bhokasam. He wanted to know everything, including of all the rivers, oceans, and everything else, and also the universe. Pramana Mandakoshasya Bahya Abhyantara Bhedatah Mahatam Chanucharitam Varnashrama Vinishchayah. He wanted to know the universe, the length and breadth of the universe, inside measurements and outside measurements, and he wanted to know the Mahatam cha Anucharitam, the pastimes of the great souls. Mahatam cha Anucharitam Varnashrama Vinishchayah, and also know about the he wanted to know about the Varnashrama Dharma. So in that sequence, so today Parikshit Maharaj he is inquiring about the different ages. So there are different kalpas and different manvantaras. And again, there is a Chatur Yuga, and there are within Chatur Yuga again, Treta Yuga, Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, like that. He wanted to know all about these yugas and how the dharma is existing in each and every yuga, and also how the Lord has appeared in a particular yuga. So these are called Yuga Avataras, and he wanted to know because Lord, whatever Lord performed, they are all very wonderful. So likewise, Parikshit is mentioning, and he is inquiring from Sukadeva Goswami. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 8, verse number 17. युगान युगमानं च धर्मो यश्चा युगे युगे अवतार अनुचरितं यदाश्चर्यतमं हरेः युगानि युगमानं च yugani the different ages yugamanam the duration of each age yugani yugamanam cha dharmo yascha yuge yuge dharmaha the particular occupational duty it is the based on the constitution position of a living entity. It keeps changing from the time, place, and circumstances. Dharmo yasha yuge yuge. So in each and every yuga, what is the dharma? Yuge yuge. In each and every yuga or particular age. Avatara anucharitam. Avatara, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anucharitam, the activities of that particular incarnation. Avatar Anucharitam Yad Ashcharyatamam Harehe. And all these activities are Ashcharyatamam, the most wonderful activities. Harehe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hare. So likewise, Parikshit is asking about the Yugani Yugamanam cha Dharmo Yasha Yuge Yuge Avatar Anucharitam Yad Ashcharyatamam Harehe. So translation for this verse. Please explain all the different ages in the duration of the creation and also the duration of such ages. Also tell me about the different activities of the different incarnations of the Lord in different ages. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request any unallocated devotee to read this purport, please?
Read it, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all the incarnations of the Supreme Lord, although non-different from him, are emanations from the Supreme. Maharaja Parikshit inquired from the great and the learned sage Shukadeva Goswami about the different activities of such incarnations so that the incarnations of the Lord might be confirmed by his activities in the authoritative scriptures. Maharaja Parikshit was not to be carried away by the sentiments of the common man to accept the incarnations of the Lord very cheaply. Instead, he wished to accept the incarnation of the Lord by symptoms mentioned in Vedic literatures and confirmed by an Acharya like Sukdev Goswami. The Lord descends by his internal energy without any obligations obligations to the law of material natures, and thus his activities are also uncommon. The specific activities of the Lord are mentioned, and one should know that the activities of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical due to being on the absolute plan. Thus, to hear the activities of the Lord means to associate with the Lord directly. And association with the Lord directly means purification from material contamination. We have already discussed these points in the previous volume. Hare Krishna. Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. So here, in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining about the Yuga avatars. So these are the Yuga avatars. The Lord appears in the Raktavarnam, Pitavarnam, Suklavarnam, like that. So they are based on the colors. We see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Yuga avatar in the Kali Yuga. So this is the Namarupe. This is the Kali Yuga avatara. There are different Okay, so this is about when we are saying that any particular incarnation, there should be some symptoms from the scriptures. So this is, for example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation. It is mentioned Suvarnavarna Hemango Varanga Chandanangadi Sanyasa Kucha Mahasanto Nishtachanti Parayanaha Krishnavarnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Yajnihi Sankirtana Prayahi Yajantihi Sumedasaha. These are by the symptoms. It is not by the sentiments, but we have to understand from the scriptures. Okay, so these are like Prabhupada is explaining here, not by simply sentiments. Otherwise, anyone can pose themselves as the God. There are so many gods nowadays. So likewise, Prabhupada is explaining here, and Parikshit wanted to know, and also Krishna mentions to Vyasadeva, I would appear in the Kali Yuga. Aham eva kochit brahman sanyasashramam ashritah haribhaktim grahayami kalu papahatan nadan. I would kill these sinful activities of a people, not the people directly, but the activities, sinful activities of a people. Kalu papahatan naran. So by taking Hari Bhaktim Grahayami, by taking the Hari Bhakti, this is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna says to Vyasadeva in the Adi Purana. So these are all we take from the scriptures, not by the sentiments. Okay, this is from Srila Srimad Bhagavatam. So Yugan Yugamanam cha dharmo yascha yuge yuge avatar anucharitam yad asharyatamam harehe. All the pastimes of the Lord, they are very wonderful. Parikshit is inquiring from Sukadev Goswami. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Shirodaksaya Vishnu. Can I request Sanchita Mataji to read April 26, 1970, Los Angeles.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My dear Shirodakshai, please accept my blessings. Since a long time I have not heard from you. I hope you are well in Krishna consciousness. Please let me know what you are doing. I am anxiously awaiting your reply. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Okay,
So,
it's a short letter. We shall do the another letter as well. Letter to Haimavati, April 26, Los Angeles.
Okay. My dear Himavati, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated sometime April, and I am so glad to learn that you are making advance in Krishna consciousness as it is scheduled. It appears that you are on the attachment platform. That is very good. The next platform is ecstasy and then pure love of God. So stick to your duties at the present moment, and when it is convenient, you can go with the Sankirtana party, but never neglect the Archana regulations at any cost. If you have no time, you are not required to go with the Sankirtana party. Your first business is to take care of the deities. Practically, you see that everyone is appreciating your deity worship and Srimati Radharani is smiling. So it is a great credit for you. So continue this engagement. Regarding going together with Hansaduta on Sankirtana party, no, there is no need of specifically helping Hansaduta because you are now engaged in direct service of the Lord. And it must be understood that this service is your specific duty. I do not think you require a child for the purpose of example. You had one child, and by the desire of Krishna, the child did not stay. Now you can forget of any child. Just to the presence just do the present service with great care and affection. That will be your best service to Krishna. Better to accept Krishna as your child, and he will never leave you like your material child. He will stay with you forever. For raising children in Krishna consciousness, you will get many opportunities to do so. When I was a householder, I was just taking care of my one or two children. But after retiring from my household life, Krishna has given me chance to raise so many nice children for raising them to Krishna consciousness. So instead of desiring to raise a bodily child to Krishna consciousness, so instead of desiring to raise a bodily child to Krishna consciousness, if you stick to this service, Krishna will give you many children for that purpose. I am so glad to hear that Hansaduta's determination to become Krishna conscious. The determination is difficult. Krishna consciousness is not difficult. Krishna consciousness is not difficult. Krishna consciousness is natural. One knows how to love another. So instead of loving so many others, one can very easily take to the business of loving Krishna. This is determination. That much is required. Otherwise, Krishna consciousness is not difficult. Regarding your question, a sinful person, never mind what kind of sinful man he is taken by the subtle body to the place of Yamaraj, and there he is trained up in a particular type of suffering. As soon as he is trained up, he is given a particular body by which he can endure such sufferings. You right to say that you look forward to that day when sense gratification will become simply insignificant. And yes, that is the stage of pure Krishna consciousness when our only desire is to be serving Krishna with no personal consideration whatsoever. Prabhu- Yeah. You want to do whatever you want to do whatever is necessary for spreading Krishna consciousness movement. So that desire will help you, and you'll be able to serve my cause surely. You ask, how is it possible to actually become Krishna's servant? Yes, it is possible. Go on with your engagement and it will be possible. Patiently go on. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, from these two letters?
Yeah, in the first letter, Sri Daksha Vishnu, Srila Prabhupada is like, I mean, in spite of, as we know, Prabhupada has been so busy, but in spite of all his activities, I mean, we cannot, countless activities and services, he is still inquiring, writing. I mean, that's a small letter, but it's so touching that even 2 lines, but he's asking that please reply what is going on. He's really anxious to know what has kept him like maybe busy or not in touch with Prabhupada. So that's what I get from that letter. And in this one, Prabhupada has written quite a few points. So first is he is writing to Hemavati, who is in doing direct service to the Lord, which is like Archana service, and it is very important. And Prabhupada, and this service, especially in this service, time is very important. So we see that in the temples, all the archanas are done, mangalarti, darshanarti, and everything. All the bhogartis, they all time on specific time. So and the pure consciousness is necessary. So Prabhupada asked her not to go to Sankirtana party because, she might be late, she might be tired, so that, she might not be able to do proper service. So in this, Prabhupada writes beautifully that, because everybody is appreciating your service, and Srimati Radharani is smiling. So Prabhupada, we know he is a Shaktaves avatar. He is like not one of in a material body, but he is like, he can understand, like we also see the lordships, but Prabhupada can understand when Radharani is smiling. So that is a great credit to Himavati. So he's saying that there will be other devotees who can help with the Sankirtan party, but you need not go. And then Himavati wanted to have another child, but Prabhupada said, like, he gave his example that I also, when he was in Grihastha life, he had only served a few children, but with Krishna consciousness, Krishna has given such nice children to serve, so many of them. So even if Krishna has taken her child, but not to worry, treat Krishna as your child, and he, like a material child, we do our duties, and after a certain time they leave us and go. But if we serve Krishna as a child, he will never leave. He will always be there to stay, and like the love will be ever flowing. So he said, child is not necessary. Raising Krishna conscious children is the main important thing. Like and he, as Prabhupada has done, he insisted her to do the same as well. And another point was he said Krishna consciousness, the concept is not very difficult, because as humans, our natural tendency is to love someone and to get loved by others. So that the feeling of love is always there, but instead of loving many others, Prabhupada said that if we just love the Supreme, because of whom we are all his children, if we can love our Supreme Father, then we just need the determination to be able to love him, and then it flows naturally, and then Krishna consciousness will not be difficult. And another point, Himavati had asked, like, what happens if a person does sinful activities? Prabhupada mentioned that in after one leaves the body, the subtle body is taken by Yamraj to the Yamlokas, and the Yamadutas give them certain body that they're able to, they have to go through certain, very depending upon the sins, they go through different sufferings, and in this body they have to go through that suffering. So that is like a warning bell for all of us when we do some sins. And then he mentions that what's that point? Sense gratification. Yeah, I mean, we initially Prabhupada says that to be fixed or in Krishna consciousness movement, sometimes we might think that we are not able to chant or do a service in a steady mood. But sometimes Prabhupada gives this analogy of having these pills, like when we are not well, we take medicines and they are not very good tasting, but if you keep on testing and taking the medicine, it will do do its job, and then we might get well. Similarly, if we sometimes, if even if it's mechanical, if we keep on doing our chanting and devotional service, and then one day it engaging ourselves in that way, it'll we will be able to do that service in the right mood and then become Krishna's servant. So yeah, that's my takeaway, Prabhu. And then initially when Prabhupada mentions that you are in the attachment mode, so we know the three types of bhakti. Like first is the sadhana bhakti, then the bhava bhakti, and the prema bhakti. So Himavati, she was in like sadhana bhakti, like Vedi bhakti. She's doing her duties as as it's assigned to her. So it might not be that it's out of love, but she's doing it. But when one is, like Prabhupada mentioned, that then it comes to ecstasy. When we keep on doing that, Lord shows his mercy, and then we get that ecstasy, that bhava. And then when one is completely absorbed, then no scriptural injunctions, the principles, rules, they do not work, and then we get into the mood of prema bhakti or raganuga bhakti also. So like how we see all Lord's associates and the avatars. So Prabhupada was one like that. So yeah, that's my takeaway, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely summarized and explained. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to mention? Okay, so that is a beautiful letter to Haimavati. And Hansidatta's Prabhupada is very happy about Hansidatta's determination to become Krishna conscious. And there is the one point here, Prabhupada, settled body to place of a sinful man is he taken in settled body to place of Yamaraja. So there is in the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned by Kapila Bhagavan that Yatana Deha Avritya Pase Badva Gali Balat Naitu Dirgam Madvanam Danjam Raja Bhatayata. So there, this Yamaraja Dutas, they will come, and as soon as he come, he sees these Bhattas, then Yamadota Tadaprapto Bhimo Sarabasa Satrastva Trastahradayah Sekvat Mutram Vimunchati. So he is very fearful. After that, this soldiers of Yamadharmaraja, they Avrutya, Yatna they Avrutya. So they will cover his subtle body with a particular, I think, some kind of to take his subtle body, the soul and the subtle body to take to the Yamadharmaraja's abode, and there he would be punished by in so many ways. So while taking to that place of Yamadharmaraj itself, he is bitten by the dogs, and while he is remembering all his pastimes, he would be bitten by the dogs, and also he would go on a very the sharp sunlight, and then at the time there is lots of sand. He walks on that very hot sand, and also there are so many of these wasps. They will bite him, and while all remembering all his pastimes, and then they will put in the what is that, Rauravam, Tamishram, Rauravam, and so many of these hellish punishments to that living entity. And also his intestines will be plucked out by the vultures and the foxes and dogs, and then the snakes and scorpions will be biting him, So they are Jivata Chandra Bhiddaraha Swagruddaihi Yamasadani Sarpavruchika Damshadjaihi Dasadbihischa Atmavaihisham Yahta Mishra Andita Mishra Rauravadhyasha Yatanaha Bhunte Narova Nariva Mitaha Sangena Nirmitaha. There are the very beautiful points that um, Kapila Bhagavan is mentioning about the living entity who is engaged in the sense gratifications and in an unlawful way. So these are the ways of a living entity, how a sinful person will be. He will be punished there in the Yamadharmaraja's abode, and then he will come here and into this material world again, into the birth of either cat or dog. So because he has already been trained to take that kind of punishments, when he is here, when he is going through the hunger and so many things, he thinks that it is normal for him. And we think, as a compassionate soul, he sees that, oh, such a painful condition for that living entity. But that living entity, it is already been trained in the abode of Yamadharmaraja to take such kind of pains. So that's why sometimes we say, Kapil Bhagavan exactly says this statement that a living entity sometimes he feels that hell and heaven are in this planet here itself because he has already trained there in the abode of the Yamadharmaraja. That's why he says hell and heaven are already here in this earth itself. It is the conception of the people. Likewise, Kapil Bhagavan says. Okay, so but actually these planets, hellish planets are separately existed where these living entities are punished. Okay, that is my takeaway from this Prabhupada's letter. Any other points, dear devotees, to share? Otherwise, we shall move to the next part, Damodarastakam by Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Just a quick question. It's the subtle body that's getting all the suffering from, receiving the torture of all these bitings and
Yes,
because you already shed the gross body. So
yes,
so is it attached to the soul
yes.
or is
So
it separated? Because the soul never gets hurt, does it?
the soul and also the mind, intelligence, and ego, these three will go together with the soul. But soul cannot go through all kinds of pains. As long as
That's right.
that
Yeah.
mind, intelligence, and ego, then he feels sufferings.
Yeah. My goodness, is that all? Is that enough of the material body here? We go through that there. Raj is instigating all these procedure, and then you born back. You don't remember it, but you're able to tolerate it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, and from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got Bhagavad Gita Sangha today evening at 7 p.m. Okay, so that is our upcoming event. And dear devotees, if you are all happy, we shall move to the next Damodarastakam. Hare Krishna, Usha Mataji, if you are ready.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Srimad Jai. Namami Swaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yasoda Piyolu Koladavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Drupya Udantam Muhunetrayukmam Vrijantam Karambojayugmena Satankanetram Muhuswasakam Patrirekakanta Stitam Grivam Damodara Bhaktibattam Iti Driksvalila Virana Kunde स्वकोशं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् तदीयसितकेषु भक्तिर्चितत्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सतावृत्ति वन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं गतिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं परे सदपि वा इदं ते वपुनाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्य वीरस्तं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तनिलयृतं कुन्तले स्निग्धरक्तिश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तातरं मे मनस्य विरस्तामलं लक्षलाभे नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं बतानु गृहाणि स्ममख्यं मेध्यक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजो भक्तामृतिर्वयद्वत् त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभाजो कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकं मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेऽहम् नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने वदेयोदरायाथ विश्वस्य नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा दामोदर श्री राधे जय यशोदा दामोदर श्री राधे Hare Krishna translation to the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who I, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with greater speed to that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastime as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conception of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara 100 of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kind of benediction, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikunta, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as the Bal Gopala in Vrindavana may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use of me of any other boons beside this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yasoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of yours, your lotus face, be ever manifest in my heart. Thousand of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodara, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nal Kuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with a rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this, and I have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisance to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Sri Radha Damodara ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully sung this Kartika Damodara Astakam. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so that is from Damodara Astakam. And dear devotees, if you wanted to share anything, so kindly share before we move on to the next part about the Vaikunta description. Okay, so shall we move to the next part? So this is Vaikunta description. We have been going through this journey. So to know about more about the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Vaikunta. And here for Kumaras, they have visited all the beauties. They have seen all the airplanes and the beautiful women and men. They are glorifying Krishna in different places, and which is bedecked with so many jewels, and the palaces are with made up of the golds and jewels, so many of those things. They were very happy. They have crossed 6 gates and entered into the 7th gate. Sorry, at the time they were stopped there by the Jaya and Vijaya, and then after that, Jaya and Vijaya, they cursed them that you take birth in the planet where there is the three gunas, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Immediately, Jaya and Vijaya fall down on their lotus feet, and then immediately by hearing from the assistance of the Lord, so he has come along with his goddess of fortune by walking. Chalayan Sahasrihi. एवं तदैव भगवान् अरविन्दनाभः स्वानं विबुध्य सद् अतिक्रमम् आर्यहृद्यः तस्मिन् एव परमहंस महामुनीनाम् अन्वेषणीय चरणौ चलयन् सहस्रीः. That lotus feet for meditating, all the great sages meditate in their heart. That lotus feet, he walked on that lotus feet and came to that point where Jaya and Vijaya are. So I shall share the full screen. So this is the point that's along with all the his paraphernalia entourage. Yes, so this is the picture from the Bhagavatam book. So Lakshmi Devi were not there, and then 4 Kumaras, they are praying to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Lord, there are 5 shlokas. Out of 5 shlokas, they are praying the Lord that we are seeing with our eyes face to face, oh my dear Lord. Likewise, they are remembering the Lord, meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. तेवामुष्यवदनासित पद्मकोशम् उद्भीक्ष्य सुन्दरतर अधरकुन्दहासम् लब्धाशुषा पुनरवेक्ष्य तदीयमङ्ग्रे ध्वन्द्वं न करुणमणिश्रयणं निदज्जुः. So the Lord's lotus feet, they're having the reddish, the nails, and looking at that, na karuna manishrayanam, just like a jewels, rubies, nidajjuhu, they are meditating, and then they mentioned that Pumsam Gatim Mrugatayamiha Yoga Margaihi Dhyanaspadam Bahumadam Nainaviramam. These are the Brahma statements to all the demigods. Demigods are all sitting around the Brahma and hearing the Krishna Katha, what is happening in the Vaikunta planet. So Pumsam Gatim Mrugatayamiha Yoga Margaihi Dhyanaspadam Bahumadam Nainaviramam. Pumsnam Vakur Darshayanam Ananyasiddhaihi Outpattikaihi Samagrunan Yutamasta Bhogaihi. The Lord is enjoying with all his opulences, Yutamasta Bhogaihi. And so he is there with his own personal body and all with all his entourage at that time, who is the objective of all the great sages to meditate upon. Now these Kumaras, they have seen the Lord face to face. And Kumaras, they prayed that Yontarihito Ridi Gatopi Duratmanam Tvam Sodjaivo Nainamulam Anantaraddaha Irheva Karna Vivarena Guhangatonaha Pitranuvarnitarha Bhavena. Oh, my dear Lord, as we have heard from our father Brahma, and like my father explained, you are exactly here in the Vaikunta. Pitranuvarnitarha Bhavena. You are coming as you are, and we are seeing you face to face. तं त्वां विदाम भगवन् परमात्मतत्त्वं सत्त्वेन सम्प्रतिरतिं रचयन्तमेषां यत्तेनुतापविदितैः दृढभक्तियोगैः उद्ग्रन्थयो हृदि विदुः मुनयो विरागाः. So you reveal yourself to the devotees who are dhrubhakti yogaihi yettenutapavidaihi dhrubhakti yogaihi, and by the devotional service, and who are completely free from the material attachments. Udgrandayo hridividuhu munayo viragaha, completely free from material entanglements. And such devotees, they do not want anything else. They always wanted to hear your Krishna Katha. Natyantikam viganyanti apite prasadam kimanyad arpita bhayam bhrovunna yaiste yengatvadingiri sarana bhavatah kathayaha kitanyati kusala rasajnaha na atyantikam viganenti apite prasadam. So they do not even desire for the liberation, which is the topmost. They always wanted to hear Krishna Katha. Yenga Tudingiri Sarana Bhavata Kathayaha. Kitanyati Desaha Kusala Rasajnaha. So likewise, they are glorifying the Lord. And they also mentioned that they wanted to hear this Krishna Katha as long as this Krishna's lotus feet, the Lord's lotus feet are decorated with the tulsi leaves. Kamam baha surjineshu niriyeshu nastat cheta halivad yadunite padayorameta vachaschanaha tulsivad yaditengri shobhaha puryetate gunaganaihi yadi karnarandraha. They want Puryetate gunaganaihi yadi karnarandra. So through their ear holes, it needs to be filled with Puryetate gunaganaihi by the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they wanted to speak Vachaschanaha Tulasivad Yaditengri Shobhaha. They wanted to glorify the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is always decorated with the tulsi leaves. So likewise, so far they have been glorifying the Lord. So we are in the mm, that one. So we have come to the 49th verse, and then after that, so 50th verse. So this one here, this Kumaras, they are saying that so this is the worshipable form of the Lord, oh my dear Lord. It is all worshipable, and your form, it is not possible for the atheistic people to see. So this is they are very unfortunate. Likewise, these Kumaras are mentioning about the Lord's form. You have kindly manifested to us, and with that they are concluding their prayers for this moment, and later on, Lord will take a turn to speak to them. Okay, this is Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 15, verse number 50. प्रादुश्चकद्द यदिदं पुरुहूतरूपं तेनेश निर्वृतिमवापुरलं दृशो नः तस्माइदं भगवते नमैद्भिदेम यो नात्मानं दुर्दयो भगवान् प्रतीतः प्रादुश्चकद्द यदिदं पुरुहूतरूपं. So you have manifested the form which is they greatly worshipped. Pradushakadda iridum puruhuta rupam. If you go to the temples, the Lord has got different forms. They all are worshipable forms. So here the Lord is having the four hands and Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, and he is always having the smile on his face and with the yellow garment, and he has got so many necklaces on his neck. So if you go to the Vishnu temple, so we would see the four-handed form of Vishnu. So here Kumaras are saying Pradushaka the Yadidam Puruhota Rupam. Puruhota is greatly worshipped. Puruhota Rupam. Tenesh Nidritim Avapur Alam Drushonaha Tenesh Nivritim. And that form, Tenesha, O Lord, Nivritim. Nirvritim is the satisfaction. Avapuhu, they have obtained. Alam drushonaha, so much as soon as we see that form. Alam drushonaha, naha is the our vision. So as soon as we see you, we will attain so much of satisfaction. That Tasma idam bhagavate namaidbhirema. We offer our obeisances onto that form. Tasma idam bhagavate namaidbhirema. Tasmaidam is unto him, idam, Bhagavate, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Namah, obeisances, iti vidvidema, let us offer. Iti videma. Tasmaidam Bhagavate, nama id videma. So in this way, we are offering our obeisances to you. So yo anatmanam durdayo Bhagavan pratitaha. Yo anatmanam. Anatmanam are of those who are less intelligent or atheistic people who doesn't understand, recognize their identity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead as well. There are anatmanam durdayo. They cannot see you. You cannot be seen by them. Durdayo Bhagavan pratitaha. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, pratitaha, has been seen by us. So likewise, Kumaras are praying to the Lord, glorifying the Lord. The pradushchakat ididum yad idam puruhota rupam tenesh nirvuti mavapurulam drushonaha. Tasmaidam bhagavate namaibhidema yonatmanam durdayo bhagavan pratitaha. Very beautiful verse. So with this one, they have concluded. Can I request any volunteer devotees to read this translation and purport, please? Yes, Mataji, please.
O Lord, we therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto you, your eternal form as the personality of Godhead, which you have so kindly manifested before us. Your supreme eternal form cannot be seen by unfortunate less intelligent person, but we are so much satisfied in our mind and vision to see it. The four sages were impersonalists in the beginning of their spiritual life, but afterwards, by the grace of their father and spiritual master Brahma, they understood the eternal spiritual form of the Lord and felt completely satisfied. In other words, the transcendentalist who aspire to the impersonal Brahma or localized Paramatma are not fully satisfied and still hanker for more. Even if they are satisfied in their mind, still transcendently their eyes are not satisfied. But as soon as such person come to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are satisfied in all respect. In other words, they become devotee and want to see the form of the Lord continually. It is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that one who has developed transcendental love of Krishna by smearing his eyes with the ointment of love see constantly the eternal form of the Lord. The particularly word used in the connection Atma Atmananda Atmanam Atmaram Atmarama signifies those who have no control over the mind and sense, and who therefore speculate and want to become one with the Lord. Such person cannot have the pleasure of seeing the eternal form of the Lord. For the impersonality and the so-called yogis, the Lord is always hidden by the curtain of Yogmaya. Bhagavad Gita says that even when Lord Krishna was seen by everyone while he was present on the surface surface of surface of the earth, the impersonalists and the so-called yogis could not see him because they were devoid of devotional eyesight. The theory of the impersonalist and so-called yogis is that the Supreme Lord assumes a particular form when he comes in touch with Maya. Although actually he has no form, this were conception of the impersonalities and so-called yogis check them from seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is the Lord. He is the Lord, therefore, is always beyond the sight of such non-devotees. The four sages felt so much obliged to the Lord that they offered their respectful obeisance unto him and again. Thus end of the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the third canto, 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entire description of the kingdom of God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji. So here, the four sages were impersonalists in the beginning of the spiritual life. But afterwards, by the grace of their father and spiritual master, Brahma, they understood the eternal spiritual form of the Lord and felt completely satisfied. So this satisfaction we comes when we experience completely. For example, previously we have been living in India, and then we have heard that this world is very beautiful. So just by the words we might have heard from this mouth and that mouth, and later on when we gradually understand, keep hearing, and then okay, there is one particular country which is cold because in India it is very warm, and we also wanted to have the cooling ACs, air conditioning within the room. So as soon as they feel, okay, there is a country called United Kingdom, it is so nice. And then they meditate on that country. And then that way, it is kind of a partial. Before that, they have just only heard about it. It's the kind of the Brahma. So knowing about the impersonal Brahman. And then once they understand, okay, this UK country is like that, there are so many cities and towns. It is the kind of a northern part of the world, knowing that they will partially experience that by thinking within the mind. And then when they personally come here into this country and experience that pleasure, they have achieved that experience, keeping themselves in the cool place, then experience that form, then they will be satisfied. Yes, this is the country I desired previously. So here, um, Kumaras, they have heard similar kind of information from Brahma. So that Lord is in the Vaikunta, he is so beautiful and he is always worshipable. He has got four hands, and he likewise mentioning all the Yutamasta Bhogi, his Lord has got all opulences. Then Kumaras have seen and then glorifying that they are now completely satisfied. This is the uh, Pradushakadidam Puruhota Rupam. This is the Puruhota Rupam, which is always worshipable. In other words, transcendentalists who aspire to the impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma are not fully satisfied and still hanker for more. This is unless we come in contact with the particular objective personally experienced, one does not have complete satisfaction. This is the full satisfaction. So partial expansion or taking little bit is different, and completely enjoying is different. Okay, even if they are satisfied in their mind, still transcendentally their eyes are not satisfied. But as soon as such persons come to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are satisfied in all respects. In other words, they become devotees and wanted to see the form of the Lord continually. So they could not even uh, move their eyes. They're always looking at that. Nidadjuhu, Dhandvam Nakaruni Shrainam, Nidadjuhu. So they were meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. It is mentioning Labdashasha Punaraveksha Tadiyamangri. Punar Aveksha Punaha. Again and again, they wanted to see that Lord's face. Deva Amushya Vadanasita Padma Kosham. Vadanasi Asita Padma Kosham, just like the lotus face. Lotus face is like a lotus flower. Udviksha Sundara. Sundara Tara Adara Kundahasam. His teeth are very whitish. He is smiling. And they are Sundara Tara, very beautiful. Hasam when he is laughing. When he laughs, Hasavaloka Kalaya Ramayanke Vishwam. His form is very beautiful. As soon as he laughs, all our distress and whatever the austerities and penances we have performed, those we forget everything, all these pains, and immediately we come to that transcendental bliss. So here, these Kumaras, they are becoming that kind, they're receiving such kind of happiness. They're satisfied in all respects. And they're seeing continuously Punaraveksha Tadiyamangri. Again and again they're seeing. So it is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that one who has developed transcendent love of Krishna by smearing his eyes with ointment of love sees constantly the eternal form of the Lord. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadayo Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. This is the Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Prema Anjana. Anjana is the ointment of love. Chirita Bhakti Vilochanena, with so much of love and devotion. Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti, the Lord, He reveals Himself, Santa Sadaiva, in the heart of the devotees. Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti, He lives there all the time, who has got love towards the Lord, and they can see them. Devotees can see the Lord in their heart, constantly the eternal form of the Lord. The particular word used in connection, anatmanam signifies that who have no control over the mind and senses. These are the atheistic people, anatmanam. They do not recognize their identity as a soul and the supreme personality of Godhead. So, and they engage their mind and senses in the sense gratification. And therefore, they speculate and wanted to become one with the Lord later on. Anatmanam. Speculate and want to become one with the Lord. Such persons cannot have this pleasure of seeing the eternal form of the Lord. So they will, if you see so many people, they come to the temple and take darshan for a couple of seconds and then go back. Though they are traveling from so many distances, so many kilometers, come there and take darshan and then leave, and then spend some time outside of the temple, and then they go. And they will come occasionally. But devotees, they go every week as much whenever they get a chance, immediately they go and then engage themselves in the devotional service, going into the kitchen and serve something and prepare samosas, serve the devotees and distribute the prasadam. They engage in so many services, cleaning, like that. But people who come and go, they cannot experience that kind of pleasure, seeing they cannot have the pleasure of seeing the eternal form of the Lord. For the impersonalists and so-called yogis, the Lord is always hidden by the curtain of Yogamaya. Yogamaya Samavritaha. The Lord is not visible to the that much easily. Impersonalists. Okay, so that is here. And then Bhagavad Gita says that even Lord Krishna was seen by everyone. At the time, he is not revealed to all the people. Very few devotees in the Vrindavana who are having so much of love for Krishna, he revealed himself to them. So, Sevon Mukehi Jihvadu Swayameva Spurchadaha. They're all there to give pleasure to Krishna only. So, Krishna revealed himself to all those people in the Vrindavana. Okay, so and then further Prabhupada is explaining the theory of impersonalist so-called yogis is that the Supreme Lord assumes that particular form when he comes in touch with Maya, although actually he has no form. So this is they make mistakes that this is the wrong conceptions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yenya Aravindaksha Vimukta Mayinaha Tvayashta Bhavad Avishuddha Buddhayah Aruhya Kurichena Param Param Tataha Patantyadaha Anadruta Yushmadangrayaha. So who are thinking that Brahmajyoti is the effulgent, that is the topmost than the Krishna, then they make mistakes at the lotus feet of Krishna. So Krishna says, Brahmano hi pratistaham amrutasya avyasya, that Brahma is also depending on me. So for that I am the basis. And likewise, these impersonalists make mistakes and they fall down to the again material pool. So this is the conception of the impersonalists, so-called yogis, checks them from seeing the supreme personality of Godhead as he is. So the Lord, therefore, is always beyond the sight of such non-devotees. The four sages felt so much obliged to the Lord that they offered their respectful obeisances unto him again and again, again and again. So this is the nature of the devotees. Previously they were impersonalists, now they became pure devotees of the Lord and they're offering their respectful obeisances again and again. Very beautiful. Okay, I request dear devotees, if you wanted to share anything on this particular verse or purport or share any reflections. Hare Krishna. No questions? No additions? Okay, so with that one, our 15th chapter, description of Vaikunta planet. We have completed that chapter, description of the kingdom of God. Okay, so we shall see the next chapter. This is contains the two doorkeepers of Vaikunta, Jaya and Vijaya, cursed by the sages. So here it is a continuation. It is the last part of the Vaikunta's pastimes. Still, we are in the Vaikunta only. So let us see what the Lord is going to speak to Kumaras now. So now Brahma is taking. So here Brahma is narrating this pastime to the all the demigods. So demigods are sitting around Brahma, or like children are sitting around the teacher or the elderly person when he is speaking the pastime. So Brahma, it's a 16th chapter. Brahmavacha इति तद्गुणतां तेषां मुनीनां योगधर्मिणां प्रतिनञ्ज जगादिदं विकुण्ठनिलयो विभुः इति तद्गुणतां तेषां मुनीनां योगधर्मिणां. So in such a way, Brahma said, Brahmavacha, Lord Brahma said to demigods, Idi tad gunatam tesham, in such a way, by receiving these prayers from these Kumaras, Idi tad gunatam tesham, gunatam, praising, tesham, from them, Muninam Yoga Dharminam, these four sages, Yoga Dharminam, engaged in linking with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme. Pratinanja Jagad Idam. Pratinanja, after congratulating them, Jagada, they said, the Lord said, Idam, these words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is reciprocating to Kumaras. Vaikunta Nilayo Vibhuhu. Vaikunta Nilaya, whose abode is bereft of anxiety. Vibhuhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whoever is in this Vaikunta Nilaya, they would not have birth, old age, disease, and any kind of anxiety there. That is Vaikunta. As long as if we if you are in the temple, that is the most fortunate thing we have got. As long as we are in the temple without further connection to the material world, then we are always in the Vaikunta. Otherwise, staying in the temple for some time and going back and again engaging in the material duties, then again back going into the miseries. But here, as soon as one leaves his body in this from this material world, enter into the Vaikunta planet, he doesn't come back to the material world. But here, all these temples, they are like a glimpse, giving the taste for the living entity. But one has to recognize that. Unless he recognizes that, he would not get an opportunity to go to the Vaikunta. So likewise, Brahma is saying, Iti tad gunatam tesham muninam yoga dharminam pratinanja jagat idam Vaikunta nilayo vibhu. So translation, it's one translation only. Lord Brahma said, after thus congratulating the sages for their nice words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose abode is in the kingdom of God, spoke as follows. Okay, so this particular, now the Lord is speaking to the Kumaras. So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Etau tau Pashadau Mahyam Jayo Vijaya Evacha Kadati Krityamam Yedho Bahu Akratam Atikramam Etau tau Pashadau Mahyam. The Lord Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is speaking, said that Etau tau Pashadau Mahyam. So these two, Etau tau Pashadav, they are my attendants. Mahyam, of mine. Pashadav Mahyam. Jayo Vijaya Evacha. So Lord is saying their names. Jaya and Vijaya. These are my door gods, my attendants. Jaya and Vijaya Evacha. Certainly. Kadati Krutya Mam Yadho. By ignoring. Kadati Krutya. By ignoring me. Mam. Yadva. And which is against Yadva. Yadva, against you, And what they're saying, Bahu akratam atikramam. They made a great mistakes. Bahu atikramam. They have committed akratam. They have committed atikramam offenses. The kadati krutyamam yadva bahu akratam atikramam. Can I request any dear devotees so to read this translation and purport, please?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes Mataji.
The personality of Godhead says, these attendants of mine, Jaya and Vijaya by name, have committed a great offense against you because of ignoring me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To commit an offense at the feet of a devotee of the Lord is a great wrong. Even when a living entity is promoted to Vaikunta, there is still the chance that he may commit offenses. But the difference is that when one is in a Vaikunta planet, even if by chance one commit an offense, he is protected by the Lord. This is the remarkable fact in the dealings of the Lord and the servitor, as seen in the present incident concerning Jaya and Vijaya. The word Atikraman used herein indicates that in offending a devotee, one neglects the Supreme Lord himself. By mistake, the doorman held the sages from entering Vaikuntha Loka. But because they were engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, their annihilation was not expected by advanced devotees. The Lord's presence on the spot was very pleasing to the hearts of the devotees. The Lord understood that the trouble was due to his lotus feet not being seen by the sages, and therefore he wanted to please them by personally going there. The Lord is so merciful that even if there is some impediment for the devotee, he himself manages matters in such a way that the devotee is not benefit of having an audience of his lotus feet. There is a very good example in the life of Haridas Thakura. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing at Jagannath Puri, Haridas Thakura, who happened to be a Mohammedan by birth, was with him in Hindu temples, especially in those days. No one but a Hindu was allowed to enter, although Haridas Thakura was the greatest of all Hindus in his behavior. He considered himself a Mohammedan and did not enter the temple. Lord Chaitanya could understand his humility, and since he did not go to see the temple, Lord Chaitanya himself, who is not none different from Jagannath, used to come and sit with Haridas Thakura daily. Here in Srimad Bhagavatam, we also find this same behavior of the Lord. His devotees were prevented from seeing his lotus feet, but the Lord himself came to see them on the same lotus feet which they aspired. It is also significant that he was accompanied by the goddess of fortune. The goddess of fortune is not to be seen by ordinary person, but the Lord was so kind that although the devotee did not aspire for such an honor, he appeared before them with the goddess of fortune. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so very beautiful purport. And any reflections, dear devotees? I request you share these reflections. You explain this purport, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Why is yes like the offense against you because of ignoring me? So it's ignoring God or
Yes, they forget about the Lord. So when the devotees are coming, if you are in the temple, if your door gods are there next to the outside, and devotees are very eager to see the Lord, then what happens? What is the Lord's desire? Lord wanted everyone, all the living entities, to come nearer to Him. But here, Jaya and Vijaya, they are guarding here, and Kumaras are coming just like a naked 5 years old children. But though even though they are the Vruddhan Dasardhavai, so Vitatma Tattvan, they know they are the transcendentalists. They know all the knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they have heard from their father. Until that point, they have not seen the Lord. They're in the impersonal conception, but they have simply heard. They didn't have a practical experience. So now they're coming. Jaya and Vijaya, they are doing their duty. Because of their duty conscious and looking at this devotees, they don't know about what they are, who they are, what they are, and immediately they stopped. Of course, in the temple also, door guards they stop if some people are coming like that. So at the time, we remember only the persons are coming up, just forgetting about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, ignoring, and they think that duty comes first, something like that. There's forgetfulness of. That's why Krishna always says, Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmarjisha. That is Krishna's statement. Here, for that moment, Jaya and Vijaya, they forgot about the Supreme Lord and ignored the Lord, and they're trying to focus, stop this Jaya and Vijaya. So,
because they are the pure devotee, like they are the pure. That's the reason saying like that.
so Jaya and Vijaya, they're the devotees of the Lord. When they're trying to stop these Kumaras, four Kumaras,
The Kumaras are like pure devotee, and that's why they are stopping them. So that's the reason Prabhu, like Krishna is saying like that, isn't it? Like, sorry, personality of God.
yes, here they have learned from their father, Brahma. So far, they have not seen the Lord personally. Now they are very anxious to see the Lord. They have got much desire. So far, they were in the impersonal conception. Now they wanted to see the Lord. When they come and see the Lord personally, then they became devotees.
Okay.
After seeing the Lord, they became the devotees. So that verse is Tasya Nainasya Padama Padaravinda Kinjal Mishra Tulsi Makaranda Vayuhu Antargataha Swavivrena Chakaratesham Sankrobham Akcharyushamapi Chittatanvoho. Until that point, they are in the impersonal conception. Akcharyusham. And then, as soon as they see the Lord, that conception, there is no base for that conception anymore. And there is so many changes. Antargataha Swavivrena Chakaratesham. Chittatanvoho, and now they turn it into themselves into devotees of the Lord after seeing the Lord.
Like lotus feet, like Krishna's lotus feet after seeing.
Yes, and his face and then his lotus feet, they're meditating on the lotus feet.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other comments? Any explanations, dear devotees?
Like it's actually like he said so nicely, like God is so merciful, like he comes himself out and to so it's like lotus feet and this face, like so merciful. It's just so nicely mentioned here.
Yes. So the Lord, he personally comes to see his, who are anxious to see him because they have performed so many austerities. And on top of it, they have heard from their father Brahma. It's kind of a Brahma recommendation previously. Now they wanted to see the Lord personally. Like Haridas Thakur. Any other sharings, reflections, dear devotees? Jahanakanya Mataji.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Is Jagai and Madai the same as Jaya and Vijay?
That is
Are
what. Yes, Mataji.
They're the
Krishnadas.
same. Yeah. So if you commit an offense to a devotee, it's held against you, but when you turn to the Lord at the same time, with in sincere mood, that is this offense is dismissed, isn't it?
Offense is not dismissed, but there is a small thing, but Lord will be arranging in such a way that that will be mitigated.
Right, it's overlooked.
Yes, overlooked, but so here Jaya and Vijaya, though they made a mistake, the Lord gave them the chances that Bhuyo Swakar, in a due course of time, in a short duration of time, they will come back to me. Likewise, he also mentioned to these Kumaras.
Yeah. And so in your duty, if you're performing your duty, that's your job, like as in the doorman
Yes,
against the sages, that's okay. You're not committing an offense, are you really?
yes, it is not offense. They are doing their duty. Yes, Mataji.
So even when we are very strict in the temple when we're serving, but if you're doing it solely for that reason and you're sticking to your rules and regulations, you're
But,
not committing an offense.
but there is one thing again, one point. Remembering the Lord all the time, that also,
Yes,
and do the duties.
you have to be in that mood. Yeah.
Yes, remembering the Lord and do the duties.
Yes, yeah.
Otherwise, even though, okay, I'm a servant of the Lord, I do my duties perfectly, but not remembering the Lord. That means kadati kulikyamam, offend or ignoring the Lord. That's to make mistakes.
Well, there has been times when I've overheard visitors insulting the person for doing their duty, and and in a real unpleasant way. I've seen it happen. So what happens there? They're not going to be. It's hurtful. So obviously it will change your mood.
Yes, Mataji. So here, when we are speaking, first of all, we need to be very polite and humble. We can relay the same message, in a very humble way, remembering the Lord. As soon as
Yeah.
we remember the Lord, the words will come. Anudvekaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat. So they come very nicely, humbly, for the well-being of opposite person to whom we speak, because we remember the Lord.
Mm.
And also, if by any chance, if you are receiving those words at the time, we do not counteract those words. If someone is harshly acting, if a devotee is so tolerant, that also Brahma mentions that in the other state to Lord Shiva that pradugdeha kriyadusho durasayah parodayena hrudrujo anisham Parandhruptaihi vidhunti arundhada tan mavadhi daivadan bhavidvidaham. If one hears such kind of harsh words or harsh activities from opposite person, uh, they are already by their words, by their activities, daivadan, they are already destroyed by their activities and their words. But tanma avadit, a learned person or devotee of the Lord, he does not counteract the Bhagavad Likewise, Brahma says to Lord Shiva, because yasmin yada pushkarena brahmaya durantaya sprustadeha pradugdrushyaha. Kurvanti tatrihi anukampaye krupam na sadho dayubalat krute kramam. Who is in the devotional service, he does not have to take any actions towards them, understanding that they are in the Yasmin Yada Pushkaranabhamaya. They are bewildered by the external energy of the Lord. That's why they are acting. Even though they are acting like that, Kurvanti Tatrahi Anukampaye Kurupam. When a devotee must be compassionate towards them. Kurupam. Of course, again, there are the range, the offense is how powerful it is. That is also depends. But it also again the devotee, whether he is capable of counteracting or such kind able to tolerate those kinds of offenses. Again, he's up to his austerities and penances and his remembrance of the Lord. Just like Ambarish Maharaj, we got so many examples of it tolerating.
Mm. And if you're in the line of duties, and that is very, very common in the whole of ISKCON, you bend the rules and you favor your friends or the senior devotees. How is that? How is that on your karma?
So here in the temple, Mahatamcha Bahumanena Dinanam Anukampaya. So we have to give much respect for the senior devotees. Mahatam Bahumanena, with so much of great respect. Dinanam Anukampaya. If he is a not a devotee yet, we need to show the mercy on them. Dinanam Anukampaya is Maitrya Yevatma Tulyeshu. We need to make friendship with the equal minded. So here what it means, what I understand, Mahatam Bahumanena. If the great senior devotees are coming and if they, because they may be having different kinds of engagements, they are also in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They may be speaking some lectures, looking after the devotees, other services. So knowing about that, and also we also remembering um, remembering Krishna is all the time important. That is the most significant part. So with that conception, we can allow senior devotees uh, do what they wanted to do. But other devotees, we can just carry out with our, if we do not know anything, because some devotees may come, but we do not know what is their activities. At that time, we follow our duties and rules and regulations.
Well, there's been a problem with that in the temple, whereas the pujaris and the senior devotees were given sort of preference in prasad, mahaprasadam, and now it's been stopped because I don't know why. Obviously, there's been a complaint because it's been over. Too much advantage was taken over on it, so they had to do so. I suppose the public member complained.
Yeah. So again, this
It's sanctioned now, yes. But when you said about line of duties, is for instance, if you're in the shop and the senior devotee come, you cannot undercharge him when you're serving him, and so it's different I suppose it's different in the temple, environment.
Yes, Mataji. So
You have to be very careful there.
yes, we need to always remember the Lord and also tell, we only give this option to them. They will only take the decision what needs to be done. So I'm just, God, I got these instructions. Please tell me what should I do. Then they only understands the situation if he is remembering the Lord as well at that point of time.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other reflections and sharings, any explanations, dear devotees?
There was something about Muslim and Hindu there, wasn't there?
Yes, Haridas Thakur is from the Mohammedan family.
Yeah.
and he was not entering the Jagannath temple. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Jagannath himself, he came personally to see Haridas Thakur, to give the darshan of the Lord to Haridas Thakur.
Beautiful.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, may I share some reflection on this?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah, so this place where Haridas Thakur used to do his bhajan, like 3 lakhs chanting every single day. So that place, it was like India, of course, it's very sunny, and Haridas Thakur used to really get very hot. And Lord himself and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to come and see, he used to feel the pain that my devotee, he is suffering so much in the heat and rain also in the monsoon. So he wanted to provide shelter. So this was the house of Kashi Mishra, one of his associate, and then and because of course he was not allowed in the Jagannath temple, he used to sit there outside the house of Kashi Mishra and then chant. So Lord, one day he came and he said that you keep on chanting here, I will arrange for Jagannath's prasadam. I know that being a Muslim you are not allowed in the temple, but I'll keep coming every single day and give darshan, and I'll arrange for your shade as well. So one day he brought this, in India, it has been the custom, like, I don't know, we don't see it here, but the tooth stick, like, the neem datun, like it means of the neem sticks, small sticks of neem, which is used for cleaning the teeth. Like people in the Sattvic mode, they don't use brushes and toothpaste. So neem sticks are used. So Lord, he, after brushing himself, he put the stick on the ground, and it's like amazing. We have seen that trick personally quite a few times and just wonder that how it's possible. So I'm just narrating, is trying to explain that. So he put the stick on the ground, that neem stick, the used neem stick of Lord Jagannath, and the next day people were surprised to see a big tree. Like bakul is one of the flowers which is white and very beautiful aromas, a scented flower. The tree came up over there and started providing shed to Haridas Thakur. So that's one pastime. And then when, the servitors of Jagannath, they came to know about this tree, and Rath Yatra was approaching. So they wanted to cut this tree to make Rath for Lord Jagannath. So Kashi Mishra then said, like, this is for providing shade to Haridas Thakur, so you cannot cut this tree. But they did not agree. Said, tomorrow morning we are going to come and cut the tree and take the logs. So immediately Lord knew that, and what happened overnight, the tree became hollow. So the trunk of the tree became hollow, and we can still, if we go to Jagannath Puri and go to Siddha Bakul, this place, we can see that the part of the tree is hollow. So when the servitors came the next day, of course, you cannot take a log which is hollow. So they rejected the tree. And since then, the tree has been there. It has it's more than 500 years now. So but even when it became hollow, it did not die. Like, the branches and the sub branches, it's all, it, I mean, how can I explain it? It covers a very, like, maybe how, if we can give an example, like, how much big our altar is in Manna, that big, like a very big area, like covering it. Still, the flowers come, it provides shade and all, and we have the, like, murti of Haridas Thakur and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a beautiful place to visit. So, here, this paragraph, the purport is so beautiful, where it says, when the pure devotee cannot go to the Lord comes and gives his lotus feet, because that's what pure devotees long for, to be servant, and Lord gives darshan every day. So that's what happened to Haridas Thakur till he left his body. He was chanting continuously under this tree. And like as Janakana Mataji was mentioning, we see that how, so we see here, if we compare that, even being from a Muhammadan family, Lord, because they were pure, he was pure, Lord protected him. But the servitors, the direct servitors of Lord Jagannath, Lord punished by not offering that log of the tree. So here also in this temple manner, when we see, we see, devotees who get this direct service of like being managing the queue, and especially during festivals. Sometimes this pride comes like, oh, I got this service of serving in front of the Lord, and managing the queue. And in that mode, as you mentioned, that like we should always be remembering Lord and doing the service, but that does not happen. So they become rude to like other devotees when we are in the queue. When we go, they will not even allow to have proper darshan. Go, keep on saying that. And then what happens, it's like a how, if we try to understand it from a higher perspective, we understand that then some devotees will go and complain that this devotee, the volunteer, is not behaving properly. And what happens, their duty is taken, and then when we see them later, they are more humble, more in the state of humility comes, and there's a correction process. So maybe that's Lord's plan. And I have seen it happening to many of these devotees who did this queue service, and when the moment they become rude, the service is taken away from them, and when we later see them 2-3 months, they're more humble. Similarly with car park also, they people complain. So Lord, this is a Lord's way of correcting devotees. He does not have, everybody is his children, so he does not have any like biasness about everybody. If he says some pride is there, he will take it away in this way. So that's how I relate it to. So I just wanted to share this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. And also about the complaints process also. Even the opposite person is doing wrong thing, one cannot complain. Otherwise, whatever the offense, who has done the offense or kind of rude, but whoever pointed that rude person, he will also receive the similar kind of the adharmic principle. Dharmam bravisi dharmadhnu dharmo shurupadruk. यद् अधर्मः यद् अधर्मकस्थानं यद् अधर्मः सूचकस्यापि स्थानं tad bhavet. So likewise, Parikshit also mentions to dharma when in the form of a bull, whoever is um, whoever is identifying that perpetrator, or whoever is the offender, or whoever is the rude person, the complaint process is also the similar. That's why the dharma, it never complained on the Kali Purusha, even though it is suffering. That is another angle. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other reflection?
Yes, that's a big issue, Prabhu. So what Krishna consciousness is teaching is for you not to address it because it will sort itself out. Is that what you're saying? That if you think of Krishna, he will sort it out for you and the other person.
Yes. So,
But how are you going to create changes, Prabhu, if you don't bring it to the people's attention? Because, for instance, it's like in the temple, there's been a lot of changes.
yes, Mataji. So here there is no questions, no ordering or no questions. Everything go in the humble manner, just presenting the scenario. What should it? What should we do? That is the only thing. Authorities will take the decisions.
Well, authorities have, and I think the only way is for authorities to do survey and things like that and ask people in crowds, how they find the practice. Is there anything that they could change? That's so it's a collective, and it's not pinpointing and putting individuals in a situation where you have to complain and bring it to attention, because it makes you angry, obviously. And if you channel that anger into that route, you are really suffering. You for a start as the most highly sufferer, and then the other person get punished. It's not nice.
Yes. So there is no complaints, no punishments. So what we do, either person, whoever it is, they represent the situation and go taking to the authority. What should we do? I do not have any complaints. This is the circumstance. What should we do? So like dharma has
It's a we.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a we, not I or me.
Yes.
It's a we and us. Yes. Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu, that's what maybe my usage of my term was not right. Maybe complaint was not the right word, but yeah, it has to be brought to the attention of the authorities. Otherwise, corrections like changes cannot be brought, as Mataji mentioned, because now we see like this Janmashtami when we had the queue, like the devotees who were put for service. Think there's lots of training goes on that you just have to be maybe not every we watch that not every devotee would like to bow down and offer obeisances. Maybe they'll just fold their hands, offer obeisances, and then go. But if one or two are doing, if you just stop them, so instead of doing that, maybe be patient, be more polite, and then so this year we saw it was more taken care of. So it has to be in other services also, as Mataji was mentioning about Mahaprasad and all. So unless authorities know, changes cannot be brought. So that is also an important factor. But of course, when we do that, that should be in the right mood, which you're absolutely right. Otherwise, we get karma as well. So the mood has to be right, that if there are things not right happening properly, then we need to highlight, but in the right mood. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we cannot take the control into our hands and say a word or actions. So that is the thing. So there is also word. One cannot take the law into one personal hands and to act. There is a law as well from the government's perspective as well. He just need to carry as long as he has got, and the judge will take the decisions, even if he takes a complainer or petitioner and the opposite person who is to be who is in charge, who is charged. So both needs to be present in the court, they take. But a police or any person cannot punish the person, bad person or good person, they cannot do anything. Only judge need to take the decision. Otherwise, if person do anything harm to any other person, then they will be punishable again. So likewise, in our day-to-day life also, when we are engaging our duties, according to our position, we carry out. We unnecessarily speak a single word or any action. Okay, this is a few things, but sometimes we say, generally at workplaces, enthusiastically one has to work more and more to impress someone. So that is a different scenario. But there also one cannot work more than the allocated hours. If it is 8 hours a day, just 8 hours and present the situation to the manager. That doesn't mean that we neglect our duty within these 8 hours. We do it our duty. If it is crossing more than hours, then we represent the what should we do? How do we? They will take the decision. We do not have to stretch and sitting there and working day and night and then to impress someone. This is all unfair. It is not a required one. Even though later on they may be given some kind of recognition and award, something like that. But that is not it doesn't come with a dharma. So he has ignored so many things from his personal point of view and also from the opposite side. That is from the work culture perspective. So because we have to go to the office and report to the manager, somewhere or other there is a line manager who supervises. We need to put a represent the situation. This is the time and giving the right estimations. So sometimes how much time it would take, what is the plan of the work in a different scenarios, we have to put. We cannot take decisions by ourselves. Only authority can do it. It's just
Krishna
a
Prabhu. Oh,
correct.
sorry.
Yes, Mataji.
Carry on.
No, Mataji, I did.
And yet I had a dilemma. Well, I had a difficulty convincing somebody that if you are eating the meat, you're colluding with the people who kill. And similarly, when a thief is watching a colleague thief in, just keeping watch, he's party of that. And they said no, the meat has not been killed by me, so it's there for as food and I'm eating it, and or the fish is there for food and I'm eating it. It doesn't count. I'm not the killer. I'm not. Of course, he's not the killer, but he's party of. He's the end. So I couldn't convince this. It was a discussion in the book distribution.
So there are, for that one, the scripture says there are 8 people ought to be punished. A person who is killing and who is eating, those 2 people, who is cooking and who is contributing and who is taking part and who is distributing that meat or whatever it is, and whoever has contributing means in terms of the financially, or whoever is giving the information about to kill that animal, that person also will take part. Likewise, there are 8 people will be punished around
Oh,
8.
right. 8. Wow. I
Eight.
didn't know that. Thank you for telling me that, because I was hoping to clarify this. The person who, well, say you're living in a house and because it was a husband and wife, and the wife was saying she doesn't eat meat and the husband eats meat, and so she has to buy the meat for him, and and sometimes cook it, or sometimes he cooks it. So how does that work? She's not she's not encouraging it. She's discouraging it, but she's in a position where she has to comply and be part, because he's a husband.
S- yes, Mataji. So here, Prabhupada also mentions that one. A wife is cooking. Wife doesn't eat, but she cooks. But she is also taking the share of killing an animal.
Oh dear, yeah. Yes, it should be counted, shouldn't it? Because it's the handling of it and processing it.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I mean, with further reference to like what Mataji is asking, like, so what, like here in this case where the wife who is cooking is also getting the karma. So in that sense, like, you mentioned the 8 parties who get this karma. So suppose the supermarkets, we we go, they help in getting the meat for those who eat, but at the same time they get the not vegetarian food as well, milk, vegetables and all that. So we are still procuring our things from the same supplier. So because they are getting karma for getting the meat, but from them we are buying, though not meat but other things. So do we get that? Does the karma get passed to us as well?
Apologies, Mataji. So I couldn't rightly get it.
So yeah, Prabhu, I'm asking that we, as you mentioned, there are 8 parties who get the karma when an animal is killed, like somebody who is killing, who is cooking and providing, and then who are helping for that to be so. So when these superstores, they get the meat, right, for
Yes.
those who consume, but we also use the same superstore to get our vegetarian food as well. So, but if suppose the wholesaler of from where, suppose Tesco, where Tesco is getting the meat from, so they're also in a party by providing it to the customer. But we are using the same provider to buy our vegetarian food as well. So are we also party to that karma?
This is going to be the second activity. It is a second karma. That is, everything is particular to one particular living entity that is being killed. These are all the participants. Now, this is another activity. We are trying to buy some raw groceries from the shop. It is a different activity, and the purpose is this grocery is needed for the to prepare prasadam, and then we need to consume in the home. So this is Krishna is going to be centered for the devotee's life. If it is ordinary people, again, if they are eating for their personal perspective, say that's eating very very sin only. If they are eating just like that, only for without offering to the Lord.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, Prabhu. Yeah, that's what Krishna says. When you offer it to me, then yeah, I accept it. Otherwise, you eat your own sins. So now, in perspective, it makes sense, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna. Very nice
Krishna.
question, Mataji. Yeah, we
Oh,
could understand so much from you. Thank you.
Thank you. There is there we have devotees who have liquor stores and they sell meat. So I mean that's their business. How does that get counted?
Again, as a business, for example, we see one of the pastime of it. There is a Kaushika and Dharmavyada. So Dharmavyada is the all learned person who knows the Tattvavid. He is also Atmavid. But every day he goes to the forest and kill only one animal, and then he just sell it to the people, and then distribute, and then whatever the livelihood he earns, the money he use it to eat. He's prepare prasadam, offer it to the deity, and give it to the family. But they do not eat it. Their business, they know only the skill. It is to kill one animal and distribute it. But there, again, there is no attachment for him to kill an animal, but it is a livelihood as a duty. So there, a Kaushika Brahmana, once he went to a Brahmana Patni asking for alms. I think we might have studied this one in childhood books in the studies. So this Kaushika Brahmana, so he was meditating by his powers. Once when he was meditating, there is a small bird on the top of the tree. It put its bird drop on him, and immediately he got very angry, or somewhere like bird drop or some noise, and immediately he got angry, and then with his eyes open, that bird got into ashes. So later on, when he was going for the alms, begging for alms, he come to one Brahmana Patni home. There he was waiting for the alms. So the Brahmana Patni says that, uh, oh Brahmana, just wait, I will bring the prasadam or the alms to you. And meanwhile, the Brahmana Patni's husband entered into the home, and then Brahma Patni, she became busy with in engaging the in the service of husband. That is the topmost service to the husband. But she remembers the sage who is waiting outside, who is waiting for the alms. And but sage, he is becoming impatient and impatient. By the time she has come back and attend the sage, and he was very angry and looking at very angry towards the Brahmana Patni. At that time, Brahmana Patni says that, O sage, I am not the bird that you have burned to the ashes with your anger, with your eyesight. I cannot be burned like that. Then immediately that sage, this Kaushika, he was very humble. How can this lady knows about my pastime? There was only myself and bird was there. But how? And then immediately he became humble and then started asking, how do you know everything? Then Brahmani Patni says, because I am carrying out my duties. My duties is to serve the husband, and that is my topmost priority, irrespective of anything else. And then she mentions that if you wanted to know all this, the inner meanings of the Vedic scriptures and everything else, then you go to the person, his name is Dharmavyada, and then this Kaushika went to Dharmavyada and sees that he's having a butcher shop. And then he was puzzled, why this Brahmana Patni has sent me here? And then Dharmavyada, he understood that. So there is no communication as well. There is no messages communication between Brahmana Patni or Dharmavyada. So this Kaushika is simply waiting there, so to finish his business. So Dharmavyada is distributing all his meat and everything to the everyone else. And then once he finished his business, then he come and attended this Kaushika, saying that, so I understand that you were sent by this Brahmana Patni. And then again he got surprised. How this person know everything that I was sent by Brahmana Patni? Later on, Dharma Vyada gives all this information to this Kaushika. So here what it means, that duty bound without attachment to the results. So that is the only thing Krishna says. Karmanyevadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana Ma karma pala hetu bhuho mate sangosva karmani. You have got the authority to perform your duty, but not on the results. without attachment to any results. That is very few points to take.
It's quite debatable that
Yeah.
know the butcher and I know pure devotees, and that's why Prabhupada said grow your own vegetables and and live a simple humble life. And I know devotees who go to the shop, they check every label on the things they pick up, and that's purity. But in this material world, it is the crowd is to sustain the crowd and feed the crowd is fast. Everything is fast food, fast everything, and so people don't have time to be that, and it's very debatable, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, very very deep discussion this is, Prabhu. Thank you.
But
So
there will be attachment, isn't it? Like if you are selling something, earning money.
Can you say
Like
it again, Mataji? I can't.
I'm just saying that devotee, even though you are saying that devotee, but like if there is no attachment, but if you are selling, there must be attachment, isn't it?
Well,
To
this
get
is
money.
why I say, that's why Prabhupada recommend go in the jungle and live in a little hut, simply like the sages, and grow your own vegetable if you have family, and it can be done, but it is sacrificing a lot and detaching, as you say, and living simple living, higher thinking.
yes.
On that note, there's a sacred street party I go to. If anybody interested on Saturday, it's beautiful. You meet all these people, and it's a challenge to know all the answers and how to get people engaged in Krishna consciousness. It's not easy, but it's beautiful.
Very nice. Yeah, so everything is the conception. So the activities, we may not change from our activities, but the consciousness can be changed. Staying in that same position. So I'm the soul's Krishna is supreme soul. I'm part and parcel of Godhead. All my activities to be dovetail around Krishna. Then everything will come into perfection. So these 8 people, as we have mentioned, when killing animal. So these are all people with the sense gratificate things. I wanted to cook this. I wanted to show. I cook nicely for my husband, and I wanted to eat nicely. I wanted to. There is no Krishna coming into the picture anywhere. But here, Dharma Vyada situation, he is the already transcendently realized person who has got that yogi. Yes, yogi, this sage is also in that similar path. So they're all in the similar path in the Krishna consciousness. Of course, but a devotee, he doesn't engage like killing in animals like that. But he has gotten nice fruits, vegetables, milk, and everything. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakcha prayachati. So he engages those things. Okay, that is
You
our
also,
yes,
yeah, Prabhu, please carry on.
yes, Mataji. That's all from me.
Yeah, I also wanted to, one of the regulated principles here is like no gambling. But I was listening to a lecture of Radhanath Maharaj, and one of the devotees, he asked, if somebody is doing as a stock trader, working as a stock trader, or casino like Las Vegas and all, they're doing that as a profession or a job to earn money. So do they still get sin? So of course, as a regulated principle, gambling is not allowed. But when somebody is like similarly with meat eating, like as or a butcher even, so if they are doing it as to earn money and we offering to Krishna, then we do not get the sense of it, because people, depending upon our varnashram dharma, people are allowed, because we are all karma yogis. We are in becoming as grihasthas or in this material world, we cannot be like complete sadhus living in jungle. That is very, chances are very grim. So when we are engaging in karma, we have to, like being here, even Arjuna had to do his karma, he has to do his dharma, follow his dharma. So when we are doing that, but still keeping Krishna in center, dovetailing all our karmas, all our activities, then Krishna will take the sins and then we do not, I mean, we do not get the vikarma like out of it, let's put it that way. So yeah, these are questions very practical, everybody asks, and so the more we discuss, we get this clarified for ourselves as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So this gambling here, we are just employees. For example, if we see the Duryodhana's campaign and Pandava's campaign, they have got different people in there. So even the one person at the Duryodhana side, but for example, Bhurishrava, he's a devotee of the Lord. He's always worshipping the Narayana form. Krishna mentions to Bhurishrava when he was killed, when his hand was cut by the Arjuna with one arrow, when Bhurishrava was trying to kill uh, Satyaki when he was in helpless condition. So to protect Satyaki, Arjuna has cut the hand of a Bhurishrava. Bhurishrava is the devotee of Krishna. And later on, Bhurishrava, he just rebuked Arjuna. Arjuna, why did you do that? I am not in contacting with you in the fight directly. Then Arjuna said, it is my duty to protect my disciple. So Satyaki is the disciple of Arjuna. He learned all the archery skills. Now it is the duty of Arjuna to protect. Arjuna, he did his duty. Now Bhurishrava, so he got disappointed. Now he went and sit in posture, yogic posture to leave his body. At the time, Satyaki came to senses and he chopped off the head of the Bhurishrava. So before that, Krishna mentions to Bhurishrava, oh Bhurishrava, you did your duty nicely. Now, as soon as you leave your body, you go to Vaikunta directly, you are my devotee. So a person, that is, everyone are engaged here in the duties. In a gambling stuff, a devotee is working as just an employee, as a matter of the duty, without attachment to the results. And person who is doing the business, so like Duryodhana, so he would get such kind of things. But again, if that he is a authoritative or representative of government, he doesn't get again the sinful activity. But we are doing as a matter of duty, and we do not invest personally by our endeavors. If we have got some pension pots saving in the some particular account, and if the pension company, so they have to invest somewhere else, otherwise it would stay as it is in the account. At the time, if we have got authority to move, or if we don't want it to move, again it is our wish. Otherwise, if we simply keep it, they will put it invest in somewhere else, shares, some kind of bonds, governmental bonds like that. That we do not have to deal with it. We do not have to worry about it. It is not a gambling thing because we cannot withdraw the pensions which are being invested in these shares and all those things, stocks, bonds, and all those things. We do not have any control over it. We cannot withdraw until we get retired. So that is again it is not in our control. We do not get any of this gambling stuff, that kind of thing. We are doing as a matter of duty. That's all.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I didn't quite get that. But the what was his name? Burish? Is it Burish? You said his arm was severed by Arjuna, but he was in his line of duty.
Yes, Arjuna was in his duty to protect his disciple.
Oh, he was in the duty to do it. But
Yeah.
why was that?
So Satyaki, he has learned all the skills from Arjuna, and Arjuna, he has got a vow that if anyone is working on behalf of Arjuna, it is his duty to protect him all the time. So Satyaki is coming there to rescue and to help Arjuna at that time. And later on, he was fighting with Bhurishrava. Satyaki is, and there is again long-term enmity between Bhurishrava and Satyaki because it coming from their fathers.
All right, okay.
At the time, so Satyaki was a bit tired, and then within that fight, he fell unconscious. And that time, Bhurishrava wanted to kill Satyaki. He took the sword and trying to go to kill him. At that time, Krishna mentioned to Arjuna that, see here, your disciple is in a helpless condition. At the time, Arjuna took his one arrow and chop off the hand of that Bodhishrava, which is having the sword in his hand. That hand is fall down now. Immediately Bodhishrava got, he criticized Arjuna, how could you do that? Then Arjuna mentions that it is my duty to protect my disciple.
But his crime of passion.
It is not.
And Arjuna also was in a mode of passion when he wanted to sever the head of Ashwatthama.
No, that is also Ashwadhama. It is not a passion. It is the matter of duty. Krishna's instruction to Arjuna is to shave the head of Ashwadhama is Arjuna's action. He has to fulfill Krishna's desire to punish and to please, so that Draupadi is pleased, Bhimasena is pleased, Yudhishthira is pleased, and Krishna, everyone are pleased. It is one, and also Ashwadhama to be punished, everything to be fulfilled. It is, one cannot be Brahmabandhu nahantavyaha atatayi vadarhanaha. So if it is Arthai, he is eligible to be killed. If he is a Brahmana, we should not kill. How to fulfill everything? So just only shave the head and take the jewel from the Brahmana. So it is as much as killing him. So at the same time, he is not killed personally. At the same time, he has fulfilled the vows of Bhima and Draupadi and Krishna. Krishna says that you also please me by punishing him.
It was an encouragement, though, wasn't it? It wasn't. I don't think. This is what I'm perturbed about. Krishna does not instruct anybody to kill, but I don't think so. But and I'm confused on that. I think it was an encouragement, but it was turned around. Was it a test in a way? Because Kunti, not Kunti, Draupadi, with her purity, did not encourage that. She didn't want it.
Yes, so there are two instances. One instance is Arjuna promises Draupadi that, oh, Draupadi, do not worry. So I would go and bring that head of the murderer of your children. So I will bring the head of Ashwadhama. He promises to Draupadi and goes. And then when he caught the Ashwadhama, then Krishna mentions to Arjuna, Arjuna, I have heard that you are going to bring the head of Ashwadhama. So you kill him, do not spare him. Then Arjuna did not like that. So there, Suta Goswami mentions that Krishna wanted to test Arjuna because Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita during the battle. Whether he still understood that knowledge. So that is to test Arjuna. He has provoked Arjuna to kill him. But Arjuna did not like that idea. He wanted to bring Ashwadhama in front of Yudhishthira is there to take that decision. Draupadi is there to take the decision. And everyone, Krishna is there. So once everyone are assembled there, they will take the decision. Though Krishna is accompanying, though Arjuna has got the option to kill him, he did not like the idea to kill him.
No.
And later on, once in the assembly of Krishna, Bhima, and then all the Pandavas and Draupadi, at the time, Arjuna was tied him with the ropes. At the time, Draupadi says, Muchitam Yesha, Muchitam Yesha, Brahmano Nitram Guruhu. We need to worship this Brahmana. He is the son of Dronacharya. We have learned so many skills. Just leave him with so much of compassionate.
But how can you be a Brahmana if you're not practicing it?
That's
Just
why
by you're not Brahmana by birth, are you?
So here Draupadi mentions that he is the son of Dronacharya. We have learned all the skills, all the archery skills and so many astras and shastras, those skills. Now because of those skills, we have protected ourselves. We need to respect Dronacharya. Dronacharya is in the form of his son. Though he is not practicing Brahmana, but we need to respect Dronacharya. And Krupi is Dronacharya's wife. So at the time, when Draupadi speaks all these things, dharmyam, sakarunam, nirvilikam, with all compassionate from the scriptural point of view, Yudhishthira, he appreciated Draupadi. Everyone appreciated Draupadi. And Nakula, Sahadev appreciated Draupadi. But Bhimasena, he is very angry. He wanted to kill him then and there itself. Later on, understanding the mood of Bhimasena, Draupadi, Yudhishthira, and then Krishna says, "Oh Arjuna, so you have to fulfill a desire of Draupadi, desire of Bhima, and myself, and all the Pandavas." Then Arjuna took his sword, his sharp sword. He shaved the head of the Ashwadama. So this dharma, it is it gives so many tests to us. That's why we need to remember Krishna at each and every moment. We cannot, if we forget for a moment, we do not know what is right or what is not right. Radha Sekha Mataji, you wanted
Yes,
to?
Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I just wanted to mention, like, about obviously like the stocks and shares and stuff. I'm not really like, obviously stocks and shares, they are put into accounts where lots of bad things go on, and you obviously said that that's normal and stuff. But even in Kali Yuga, like, it's clear that, you know, Kali is there where there is a hoarding of money, um and even from an economic perspective, like, you know, the whole economic system, the false economic system, is based on the fact that, you know, everybody's, you know, if you go back into the theory of economics, the in the West, especially in the Western world, it's based on the ideology that everybody's just in it for themselves. Now, even like in like Sharia law and things like that, they have, you know, very strict restrictions on, you know, people taking interest and using money that's not accumulated kind of in the right way, and, you know, the, and all this thing. So, and like Srila Prabhupada also, you know, any money that everything was invested in relation to Krishna consciousness. So I think we have to be very careful in how money is used, because a lot of problems then that start for, you know, people that are supposedly, you know, trying to be Krishna conscious, is because of, you know, the karma is there still for, you can just see it. I mean, I don't know how Krishna deals with it, but you can actually see it in people's lives. Like they, you know, through stocks or shares or whatever, they get loads of money. And then you can see the downfall later, maybe after generations or whatever, within their family situations, or the karma does come back because that money actually hasn't been righteously earned. Um, and even if you look at, you know, people that have stolen money, if you think about, you know, from certain civilizations, etc., the never the karma is still hitting them, because there is always the laws of the, you know, the universal laws are still intact. So I think I personally, because I teach this topic as well, there's a very thin line between what is legal, and especially because we're taking, uh, you know, during the point of initiation, we're taking that vow to not gamble. It becomes a very, very thin line. Obviously, if we use that money in Krishna consciousness, you know, there's obviously that argument, but, you know, it's still, if you take it, you know, and then the Isha Vyasha principle, which actually does say, um, if you take more than what's yours, everything belongs to Krishna in the first place. If you take more than your quota, then that means that somebody somewhere goes without, and the whole greed culture is created on that. So, you know, just through that stock system, you know, there'll always be lots and lots of people living behind, underneath the poverty line, due to the absolute, you know, it's not meritorious as supposedly, but they're living like, you know, there's people that don't have food, and, you know, there's the whole thing is that if a human being is created, Krishna naturally creates that supply of food, Mother Nature creates that supply of food for them. But where there is greed, that cannot, and therefore Krishna's Van Ashram or none of that system can work. Krishna's system cannot work because some people are taking more than others. And if you look back at the economics of capitalism, it is that, you know, money is literally just printed and it's only available to a certain few. Just because we live in a country like this, we think there is other people in the world that are literally suffering for us, so that we can, however we put it, the karma is somehow, we can say we can offer it to Krishna, obviously, yes, with that consciousness, fine. But how many people really are in that consciousness? I think those economic situations are very, there's lots of lines that, the consciousness has to be very, very pure. And a Kali Yuga, Krishna clearly says, or in that whole story, that where there is a hoarding of money, Kali is residing there. So I think we, as devotees, we should be particularly careful that we just take our quota and not the quota of others. Or even if we make someone feel envious of us, we should really be considerate of that. Like, it's I don't know, it's Lakshmi is used in the service of Narayan, and I think we should all be very particularly careful. I know there are systems set up to help, and obviously, in the good way, with the goodwill. But again, people go crazy. You just notice it, like even in very small situations. So I think as devotees who are initiated, we should be very careful, especially because of that fourth rule, which, some people, everyone's very quick to say, oh, don't drink, don't eat meat, no illicit relationships. But equally, it's just because it's money, unless it's used in Krishna's service, it's going to cause problems. And even if we don't will it in the world, if it's not used correctly, time and time again, we will see even future generations or whatever, there is suffering that will occur because of misuse of money. I've seen it, so I just thought I'd mention that point.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Nicely explained. So yes, if it is whatever the earnings, if you are not spending for Krishna, it will put us into the material entanglement. We don't take any money and all opulences with us. Okay, it needs to be engaged in the devotional service for his own personal benefit. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so we are so much nearer to 9 o'clock, dear devotees. If you're happy, so we shall conclude for today. Unless if devotees wanted to share anything.
Yes, Prabhu, that we are very thankful for the kingdom of God, that chapter, so many months, so patiently. You have explained it with the vivid description as if we could see Vaikunta ourselves, very fortunate. Not many people get that opportunity. So let's all please say 3 loud Haribols to unmute and say 3 loud Haribols to Prabhu. And of course, looking forward to this chapter with the curse on Jaya and Vijay. So yeah, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu, for nice discussion, and then today's very discussion very deep. So nice. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mati. It is all glories to you, all glories to devotees, all Srila Prabhupada, Guru, and Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone else. So we are just trying to relate this Krishna's pastimes happening in the Vaikunta. We can only through the sound vibrations, we cannot see with our materialistic eyes. So at least we have got devotees who can give and put them into nice paintings here, understand through the sound vibrations. Thank you so much, Mataji, for kindly giving your association. Okay, so in the next chapter, it is the Jaya and Vijaya are cursed. Here, the Lord speaks about the Brahmanas and the past, what is going to happen to this Jaya and Vijaya. And later on, these Kumaras are also admit that they have also made mistake that cursing this Jaya and Vijaya. And soon they are also, Krishna also says that this Jaya and Vijaya, they have stopped Lakshmi Devi entering into the Vaikunta. That point also mentions, and that is also Krishna's will that this curse of Kumaras coming into the Vaikunta and cursing Jaya Vijaya is also Syapo Maiva Nimitah Tadaveti Vipraha. They are just instruments in cursing that. And then after that, the Brahmanas, they worship, they glorify the devotees of the Lord. Pramidaha Pratijagmuhu Pramidaha Samsamto Vaishnavim Shriyam. Glories of the Vaishnavas, they are unlimited. So by doing glorifying and taking the Bhagavatam Parikramya Paripatyanmanucha, they take the rounds and they do the pradakshina to the Lord and then they leave from there. And then later on, while everyone are watching, Jaya and Vijaya, they fall down from the Vaikunta Loka. At the time, everyone they do hahakaras. That they're entering into the womb of Diti later on. So Diti is here. Diti is at the time Lord Shiva is also moving on his bull, wandering around the world. At the time, the Ganas, they are very fearful Ganas, and that Ganas are fearful. And here, Jaya and Vijaya, they are divine people coming from the Vaikunta, entering into the womb of Diti. So that way, this Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, they would enter into womb of Diti and stay there for so many years. Later on, past times would be revealed. These are all how it happens that we are we are going to see in the 16th chapter. These are past times will be revealed in the coming weeks. Thank you so much, Mataji. So if you're happy, we shall conclude our session and continue with further japa. पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्द की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। कॉन्शियस डे
Hare
वेरी।
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य